All right, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review, more specifically, another wrestling pay-per-view review. And for the first time in a while, we're doing a modern pay-per-view. I kind of took a break from them, and by break, I mean I kind of fell a little bit behind, but we're going to be getting back on our horse because now it's time to open the forbidden door, or it's time for AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling's Forbidden Door, from London in England, not at Wembley this time around, but at in the O2 Arena. And props to AEW who for setting the attendance record. uh, for the O2 Arena, at least for that. Shouts out to that. Now I thought, if I remember correctly, which I'm probably misremembering, I thought Forbidden Door was going to be at Wembley again, but nope, this time it's in the O2 Arena. So I'm not sure if it was a change. I'm not sure if they mentioned it before and I just missed it. The latter is probably indeed what happened, knowing me. Um, but nevertheless, we are in London, and of course, AEW is going to be back at Wembley for All In next year. So, back on track. Of course, this year they did All in Texas. So, oh, now things are gonna be back on track here, but at least next year in terms of that. But nevertheless, as always, I'm not a professional wrestling reviewer, analyst, or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time, and I had a pretty good time with this event, watching it here. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, if you've seen these reviews of mine before, you kind of already know how this works, even though it has been a little bit. But if you haven't, going to be talking about what I liked and disliked about each match. I'm going to go match by match here. Um, Starting with the pre-show matches, I didn't watch them, but I did want to acknowledge them anyway. Hey, an eight-man tag team action, and the Paragon, that being Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, El Desperado. They teamed up with El Desperado and Yuya Uemura. Hopefully, I pronounced that correctly. Although there's a chance I probably didn't. If I do mispronounce any names, I do apologize. But they battled hold CRU, that being Action Andretti and Leo Rush, and the Don Callis family, consisting, or I should say, being represented by Hechicero and Josh Alexander. Uh, then in trios action, the Gates of Agony, that being Bishop Khan and Toa Leona, and Ricochet, defeated Jet Speed, that being Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, and Michael Oku, and next up in eight-woman tag action, the Triangle of Madness, that being Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Tekla, has they teamed up with Megan Bain to defeat Harley Cameron, Chris Statlander, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale. So I guess Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale are on decent terms now. No, they were feuding for a little bit, and then finally for the trios championships. The Ops, that being Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Samoa Joe, defeated the Bullet Club War Dogs, that being Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney, and Robbie X. So now that those are out of the way, and because I didn't review All In, I guess I'll mention it here. Wishing a very well and speedy recovery to Adam Cole. Well, as he's dealing with his injuries, more specifically his concussion. If he does have to retire because of this, that definitely would suck. But definitely a hell of a career for Adam Cole. Well, so just absolutely wishing him all the best. But now on to the show proper, starting off with tag team action as Adam Copeland and Christian Cage reunited, and it feels so good. Battle the matriarchy, that being Killswitch and Kip Sabian. So back at All In, and the patriarchy turned on their father, Christian Cage, and essentially kicked him out. So Christian Cage has been exiled. Well, Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian have disowned Christian Cage. They were attacked him as well, but Adam Copeland showed up, told Christian Cage to go find himself. Oh, told him to go find himself, and sure enough, Cage did just that. At had He got reunited with Adam Copeland after Adam's match with Stokely. He and Also, as I'm recording this, it was just announced that Adam Copeland and Christian Cage are going to be battling FTR at All Out. But nevertheless, so oh they kind of reunite here, and they're going to battle the matriarchy. Now I guess led by Mother Wayne, and so it was supposed to be Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. However, and Nick Wayne injured his foot. They said on commentary during this match that he punctured his foot on Spike, that being the big spiked 2x4 that Adam Copeland brought with him. I wonder if Nick Wayne's blood ended up anywhere near John Moxley's. But so Nick Wayne is out with the foot fracture. So he was replaced by Kill Switch. Kill Switch, he had been out since last year due to pneumonia in both of his lungs. So he was out for quite a while, but then he came back. They did like the vignette of them straight up trucking Kill Switch and kind of in a way brainwashing him. So now Kill Switch is back and he's gunning for Christian Cage. So Kill Switch very very angry. Yeah, but on a more real note, is I am glad to see that Kill Switch is doing much better, that he's recovering well, and that he was able to come back, because that definitely was scary, especially when it was first announced. So I'm glad to see he's recovered, at least for the most part. But as for this match, had first time that Adam Copeland and Christian Cage had teamed in 11 years, I believe. First time they had teamed in 11 years, which is absolutely crazy to think about. How it's or actually, no, oh, I got that wrong. So, the reason I was thinking 11 because it was the first time they teamed since 2011. So in reality, it has been 14 years since they had teamed. But of course, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, aka Edge and Christian, one of the most legendary tag teams. So cool to see them once again. A team we never thought we'd see again due to Adam Copeland being retired, then Christian being retired for a little bit, then Adam Copeland slash Edge came back, then Christian came back, then Christian went to AEW, and then Adam Copeland went to AEW. Then they feuded, so we didn't know if they would reunite, if they would team again, but lo and behold, they did end up teaming again. So when it comes to this match, which this match was all right for the most part, or a decent way to open up the show. The two main stories is that first of all, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage being a team again. That was the main. I would say that's the main focal point of the feud, as well as, or the main focal point of the match in terms of the story. That and Christian Cage's kind of relationship to both Kip Sabian and Kill Switch. But the other thing is that Kill Switch, it beat up Kip Sabian as much as he did his own partner, or as much as he did his opponents, throwing Kip Sabian around, even busting Kip Sabian open at one point. I think I believe it was somewhere around the eye area. I think it was like above his eyebrow, if I'm not mistaken. But Kip got busted open like really badly, and it looked really nasty. I hope he's okay. But yeah, Kill Switch just is beating down anyone in his path, even his own tag partner, just trying to get at Christian Cage for all his wrongdoings. But ultimately, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage getting the win after or admittedly a pretty cool ending where Christian Cage kind of lobbed up Kip Sabian, and then Adam Copeland came in with the spear. So that was pretty cool to see. And awesome to see them back as a tag team. Do I think it will be a permanent thing in AEW? I don't think so, but I do want to see where things unfold, especially now that they're fully transitioning into that feud with FTR, who will be on the show later on tonight. But yeah, still, pretty cool to see. Um, I wouldn't really say throwing it back completely to my childhood because by the time I started watching wrestling. I started in 2008, around when I was 7, 8 years old. By that time, Christian was actually in TNA. He hadn't come back to WWE yet, and by the time he had came back, heck, didn't really do as much with Edge. They rekindled their friendship. Like this around the time Edge had turned face and everything, and but then in just a couple years, Edge would be retired. So sadly, didn't really grow up with Edge and Christian, but it was cool to see them team up again and seeing them hit the poses and stuff like that. So that was pretty nice. But otherwise, yeah, not a bad way to open the show. But next up for the AEW TNT Championship, the Proto Star Kyle Fletcher defends against Hiromu Takahashi. So Kyle Fletcher or is the TNT champion, and he did not win it at All In, and like a lot of people felt like he was supposed to if he would have faced Adam Cole. Instead, it was Dustin Rhodes who won it at All In, and then Kyle Fletcher won it a couple weeks later on Collision, and from Dustin and which Dustin Rhodes is now out. I believe he's having surgery, if I'm not mistaken, and if that is correct, then also wishing a well recovery to him. But now Kyle Fletcher is the TNT champion, and so he said he wants to face the best from New Japan in defending his TNT championship. And sure enough, Hiromu Takahashi stepped up to the plate. A lot of people consider him to be among the best in New Japan. Admittedly, I haven't seen, and that's kind of the double-edged sword when it comes to crossover shows like this. Is I haven't seen too many matches from Hiromu Takahashi, and the ones I have seen have been kind of through either Forbidden Door or when he was at Wrestle Dynasty earlier this year. But Takahashi considered one of the best, so Kyle Fletcher is essentially getting his wish. And this match was pretty fun. There was a lot of fun back and forth. Kyle looked absolutely amazing. The spot where Takahashi was kind of shrugging off a lot of Kyle's offense was kind of cool to see. But ultimately, Kyle Fletcher does pick up the win over Takahashi. So ups to him, and I do really love how they're positioning Kyle Fletcher. It really feels like they have really big plans for him. He may be TNT champion for right now, but I imagine in just a couple years he'll definitely probably be world champion, and if not full on world champion, then definitely in the contendership for it. But he looked really great. I think he and Takashi did really well. Excuse me. So that was cool to see from them. I mean, yeah, pretty solid match. So next up in a four-way match for one of Mercedes Monet's 9 children now. Her 9 belts. Else, she defends the TBS championship against Alex Windsor, Bozilla, and Persephone. So 4 different promotions being kind of represented here, or so technically 3. Yeah. Oh, uh, Mercedes representing, Mercedes and Alex, in a way representing AEW, who I believe Alex Windsor just officially started in AEW. She just officially signed, and then Bozilla representing Stardom, and then Persephone representing CMLL. Oh, but So three different companies, I should say. Hey, but the entrance where her one of like the guards were, or they had like I believe like eight different the royal guards, or people dressed up like the royal guard, or because obviously we're in London. Having each one of them hold a belt, admittedly, was kind of funny, but a lot of people are wondering. Is it a little too much? That's nine belts. She's literally starting to look like those old memes I'm sure for those of you who are like internet OGs, you remember the old memes of like Triple H or like John Cena with their arms outstretched. You can't really see it on the camera because as the window is only so big, but with their arms outstretched and they're holding like all kinds of championships and titles and stuff like that. Like holding the world titles, holding like the United States Intercontinental Championship, holding the women's titles, holding the Money in the Bank, all of that. It's literally starting to look like that. At but championship madness aside, this match was really cool to see. He's sadly not quite as familiar with the other three women as I am with Mercedes Monet, but thankfully that's kind of going back to my earlier point about Hiromu Takahashi. That's kind of the point of these shows. Is to gain the extra exposure for those who might not be familiar with that talent on either side of things. If you watch AEW and you're not familiar with New Japan or CMLL or Stardom talent, or if you mainly watch like New Japan, CMLL, Stardom, and you don't watch AEW, then so kind of the point of these types of shows, which is what makes them so fun and interesting. But I think all four women did really well. Bozilla was kind of like the um um for lack of a better term, the muscle in the match, where she was like the big person that everyone else was trying to take out, the big threat at that everybody else was trying to take out. Also, noticed that she's wearing kind of the same slash like similar boots to Brody King. So that was a nice little bonus. Brody King will be on the show later on as well, I think she definitely got her time to shine. It does kind of remind me of the uh the Fatal Four Way back at Double or Nothing 2019. Hence, if you haven't already, go check out my review of that I did a few months ago. Where Awesome Kong was kind of in the same boat. But it was really cool to see all four of these ladies kind of do their thing, and ultimately Mercedes is countering. I believe Persephone it was who attempted it, kind of the money maker. Mercedes countering that into a backslide in order to pick up the win, and or something similar to a backslide. I forget exactly, but it was cool to see her hit the win that way. A kind of a surprising win in a way. Hey, but it was still really cool to see, and yeah, I think all four ladies did really well. But next for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Zack Sabre Jr. her ZSJ defends against Nigel McGuinness. That is his so, two of the best technicians, and they kind of put over how Zack Sabre Jr. wanted to battle Nigel McGuinness, but Nigel McGuinness had retired for a while. Oh, but now that he's back to wrestling, and even if it's on a more part-time basis, while he still does like color commentary and everything, and so Zack Sabre Jr. wants to battle him. Speaking of commentary, Brian Danielson is on commentary for most of the show. He leaves for the main event for obvious reasons because the Death Riders are there. But Brian Danielson is on commentary. He now Brian Danielson, not a total fish out of water. He I think he did commentary a few times for, I don't know if you remember, Saturday Morning Slam. And shouts out to the fellow kids who remember Saturday Morning Slam. All three of us should probably start a union or something. But But Brian Danielson was on commentary, and I think he did. I think he did really, really well. He provided some good insight. He was funny. So I think Danielson did relatively well. So I don't know if it'll be a permanent thing for him, especially since he's not going to be wrestling as much, if at all. But it was pretty cool scene. I think he did a really solid job. He even put his kind of bias for Nigel McGuinness aside because remember they had their little mini feud last year. But as for this match, definitely a lot of fun. Definitely a very very technical match. Like seeing both these technicians really in their elements was so cool to see, especially since I'm not super familiar with either. Or I'm starting to get more familiar with them, but otherwise it was really awesome to see, and ultimately Zat Hack with a very very intricate pin on Nigel McGuinness in order to pick up the win against him to retain. But definitely just a technical masterpiece. If you are a fan of technical wrestling, I highly recommend this match. Dan Garcia, who did accompany Nigel McGuinness to the ring, I was expecting him to turn on Nigel McGuinness either in this match or after the match, and he definitely teased at it. Especially with him doing kind of little shady things, and then the referee kind of reprimanding Daniel every time he did so. But the turn did not come, so I imagine the turn is probably happening at some point, but not quite tonight. So they're probably milking it. They're probably going to milk it a little bit. But when they do eventually have that feud, I think it's definitely going to be very interesting. But yeah, very, very solid match. But next up, in three-way tag action for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, it's Bro Dito, that being Brody King and Bandito, and FTR, that being Cashwell and Dax Harwood, both challenged the Hurt Syndicate, that being Bobby Lashley and Helen Benjamin. Uh, this is the result of a tag tournament, and and between several teams, it came down to FTR and Brodito, that being Brody King and Bandito, who is kind of in a way filling in for Buddy Matthews because he's injured. So Brody King instead teamed with Bandito, which he had teamed with Bandito before, but um, so they teamed together. Ultimately, the match that was supposed to determine the number one contender, came down to a time limit draw. And wrestling logic dictates you can't decide on a team. Screw it, both of you are going to face for the titles. Both teams, I should say. But now I do have to bring up a gripe I have with Excalibur. Excalibur said it was going to be a it's going to be triple threat tag team rules, but without tag. So I thought, oh, they're doing it tornado style, but nope. Instead, it went to the format that I absolutely hate, where it's only two guys in the ring and then you tag in a team. So Excalibur, you lied to me. You're on my naughty list. You lied, but I see through you and that mask. But as for the match itself, the match was still pretty fun. On it was cool. Well, I think Brody King and Bandito work really well together. Of course, FTR able to do their thing, and then the Hurt Syndicate as well. Hell, seeing the action all three of these teams got up to during the match, some hooded figures showed up and attacked the Hurt Syndicate and kind of took them out and essentially brawled with them out and chased them out of the match. So the Hurt Syndicate was not a deciding factor in the victory, and the hooded figures turned out to be Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. So, is it? Did MJF put them up to this? Is after being excommunicated from the Hurt Syndicate? Is this retaliation for Ricochet being rejected from joining the Hurt Business? I suppose, or not the Hurt Business, Hurt Syndicate. Which is pretty much Hurt Business. But is it Ricochet retaliating for not being a part of the Hurt Syndicate? I suppose time will tell. But then, and as for the rest of the match, and Brodito do end up picking up the win, and they become the new AEW World Tag Team Champions. So congrats to them, and yeah, pretty good match. But next up we have for the AEW Unified Championship, Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, battles Swerve Strickland, and so uh, Okada has had a bone to pick with Swerve Strickland after he and Will Ospreay essentially cost the Young Bucks their jobs at All In and pretty much removed them from their power as EVPs. And we will talk about that because we'll get to it. But so Okada's been gunning for Swerve ever since, and these two are finally going to face off. Swerve with the Mr. Terrific outfit looked absolutely sick. Now that is a cool outfit. Swerve. I feel like Swerve's gears always kick but this one especially. And also, I guess this is now a good time to say if you haven't checked out my review of Superman, go check that out. But as for this match was good, but but for me, it wasn't as good as I thought it could be. Like there was a lot of fun action and a lot of fun back and forth between the two, who and the action on both sides definitely made for a very fun match. But to me, it felt kind of like something was missing. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm alone on that, and I probably am. Maybe it didn't help that Swerve wrestled this match potentially with an injury because as of today, the 27th, he just went in for surgery for a torn meniscus. Oh, uh, So I wonder if he tore it during this match, if he had it before, or they did kind of allude to him having a knee injury and Okada kind of exploiting it in the course of the match. But yeah, but yeah. So hoping for a well recovery for Swerve as well. Else, shoot, a lot of injuries. The injury bug is definitely going around. Like whenever the injury bug comes around in wrestling, it definitely sucks. But nevertheless, Swerve coming up short against Okada. Like I said, very awesome, very solid match, very fun match. But to me, it kind of felt like something was missing. And I do wonder if Swerve being injured had anything to do with it. But yeah, still a really good match. I didn't hate it. In fact, it was still really solid. But to me, it felt like a little something was missing. But nevertheless, next up for the AEW Women's World Championship, timeless Tony Storm battles Athena. Now, Athena won the Women's Casino Gauntlet match back at All In, and and Athena, who is the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, and the forever Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, and decided to cash in her decided to cash in her opportunity at Forbidden Door against Thomas Tony Storm. Athena feels like Thomas Tony Storm's gimmick is a joke. Oh, which I mean it kind of is, but he wants to take the title from Tony Storm, because excuse me, because she feels like Joe characters, was like Thomas Tony Storm shouldn't be the champion or something kind of to that effect. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but as for this match was pretty good. Had to see Athena on a main AEW pay per view, who not just the Ring of Honor ones, but it was really cool to see. I think both women did really well. Hell, a lot of fun back and forth between the two. Who Billy Starks does get hit involved, but she is then chased off by Mina Shirakawa, and Timeless Tony Storm does ultimately make Athena submit hit. So Tony Storm does hold on to the Women's World Championship. So congrats to her. Bravo. But next up in your semi-main event for the AEW World Championship, Hangman Adam Page defends against MJF. So Hangman Adam Page in probably what might be match of the year, or to be honest, is defeated John Moxley, ended the Death Riders' death grip over not just the World Championship but AEW, who at All In. And now that he's won that, now he has to battle MJF. So MJF won the men's casino gauntlet. It At first Hangman tricked MJF into executing his contract at Forbidden Door in order to get a title match with him. And so MJF's response was to kidnap Mark Briscoe and attempt to set him on fire. Of course, Hangman does have very a lot of respect for the Briscoes, so he's very close to them. So MJF attempted to set Mark Briscoe on fire. So Hangman had to give in to some demands. The first two was that if Hangman Page got counted out or disqualified, he would have lost his championship. Great, it's WrestleMania 25 all over again. But the other one is that MJF does not have to execute his contract in order to get this title match. So MJF kind of weasels his way out of giving up his contract to get the title shots. But did he get the title? Well, no. Oh, but it was still a hell of a match. This match was a lot of fun. On Hangman and MJF definitely make match together. They also had a fantastic match back at Revolution earlier this year, and this one is no different. And and but especially with MJF and his antics throughout the match, at at trying to goad Hangman Page into getting himself disqualified, or getting himself counted out. And excuse me, MJF trying very much to poke the bear and to exploit Hangman Page and his infamously violent temper. They put over on commentary the violent temper that Hangman Page has. You know, the one that caused him to damn near kill Swerve Strickland back at All Out. Yeah, that temper. But Hangman keeps resisting. MJF tries every dirty trick in the book. He tries the Dynamite Diamond Ring. He tries on doing the turnbuckle, all of that to try to defeat Hangman Page. And Hangman overcomes each and just about every obstacle. Ultimately, Hangman behind the referee's back nails MJF with the contract, because it is on like a metal like clipboard, or so he nails MJF with it, and then use that, and then from there nails the buckshot in order to pick up the win. So very fun, very competitive match. Honestly, this match kicked ass, as definitely highly recommended from this show. So Hangman and wins the battle here, but does he win the war? And what will MJF do with the contract now? We will, I guess, find out in the near future. But excuse me. But also apparently, Tony Khan has now implemented a new rule. Well, I think I read Tony Khan has a new rule with the contract that you have to execute it at least a week in advance for before the match in order to give them time to promote the match. That being AEW, which I get it. It makes sense. It does, but it also kind of takes away from kind of an interesting aspect of it, because as when it comes to that, the contract was kind of like Money in the Bank in a little bit. Now you kind of remove that element of it, but maybe it'll work out for the best. But last but really not least, in your main event, a lights out steel cage match, aka the way I see it, blood and guts without the commitment. and the Death Rider, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Gabe Kidd, who's accompanying them, team up with the Young Bucks to battle the Golden Lovers, that being Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi, Darby Allin, and Hiroshi Tanahashi and Will Ospreay. So couple things right off the bat. For starters, there's how we got here is the Young Bucks lost their EVP power or at at All In, and have been getting trolled ever since. Like they lost their theme music, they lost their creative entrance, and this has been a very funny running gag from week to week. Just Young Bucks getting these like jobber entrances, his being called jobber names. Names losing all their power. Nobody in the locker room wants to associate with them. They get these crummy locker rooms. They're called Max and Jeremy at one point. Nice TNA reference. They have no theme music. Then they have like really cheesy theme music with like cheesy graphics and a Titantron and everything, which is done in Comic Sans. And it's pretty much just them either being kind of embarrassing or getting their ass kicked at All In, more specifically, what he the final moment where Swerve and Osprey nailed the house call hidden blade combination, which was a very well done move. Like that move absolutely kicked ass. As if Swerve and Osprey ever team up again, they definitely gotta do that. But so the Young Bucks are out of power and pretty much have gone down this downward spiral. Well, well, and and it's been really funny to see. And this show is no different. And coming out to Oomba by Hanson, and which literally has been stuck inside my head ever since. And it's like, what can I say? It's a bop. Yes, I know the singers have kind of gotten some controversy, especially as of late. But what can I say? The song's a bop. But that was really funny to see. But also, Osprey getting a really cool entrance and really cool ovation in his home country. He he but and I guess I gotta gush about all the entrances is so Osprey's was cool, especially with the package and being narrated by his fiance, a Alex Windsor, who was there earlier in the year, and then the aforementioned Young Bucks music, which even Kenny was jamming out to as well, and the crowd singing along to it was the cherry on top. But also the Death Riders entrance was pretty cool, like Mox coming through, coming in through the crowd like he normally does, but getting Gabe Kidd and Claudio one by one, I think was a really nice touch as well. Also, but now getting into the match, this match was all kinds of fun, all kinds of chaos, and I was here for it. This match definitely had like a little bit of everything. It had some very brutal moments, such as John nearly severing Darby Allin's ear, a la Mick Foley with the fork, or the Young Bucks looking for what they thought was thumbtacks, but turned out to be gummy bears, which is funny, but at the same time, is a waste of perfectly good gummy bears. At least Osprey ate a couple of them off the blood-soaked canvas, which was kind of gross. Tanahashi wanting to do a dive off the ladder, and then having to be talked down by both Bushi and Omega was pretty fun. I mean, just all kinds of just all kinds of goofy fun on Darby and Wheeler and or actually I should say Darby and Gabe Kidd doing like their suplex off the top of the cage through the tables that were set up. An absolutely insane there. Between this and SummerSlam earlier this year, they cannot seem to get that fourth table. Which hey, they couldn't do it back then either. But there was the at moments, hints and just all kinds of good stuff, and then Tanahashi getting the pin after the frog splash match I think was especially a nice touch, especially considering similar to John Cena. This is also Tanahashi's last like active year as a wrestler because, as they said, he can't be New Japan president and wrestle at the same time. I don't know why, but Tanahashi's complying, so he's retiring. So he's kind of on his retirement tour, or so this was the last time he would be in London, and yeah, just a very awesome and fun match, and they repel the Death Riders. Or do they? Because sure enough, afterwards, or they throw Osprey back in, they lock the cage, and they just brutalize him. And they stomp on the chair with his neck sandwich in between, kind of similar to what they had done previously. He eventually, because they do lock the cage. Eventually, the cage is raised, and the ops, that being Joe, Shibata, and Hobbs, eventually do get in there and kind of repel them. So Osprey, he seemingly is written off. He is supposed to be having neck surgery, his his future is very much up in the air in terms of whether or not, excuse me, he will even continue to wrestle, which is pretty sad, scary, but also pretty sad to think about. Also, wishing Osprey a very well recovery as well. Oh, Osprey had actually been injured, I believe, further back, had been needing the surgery for a while, but had put it off. He originally wasn't cleared for this match, which is why it was made unsanctioned, so that AEW is not held liable. Oh, but yeah, wishing very well recovery for Osprey, of course. But yeah, that is the match. Fun, chaotic, just that's a little bit of everything. Just really awesome way to end off the show. In terms of the strongest and weakest match of the night, the strongest. Is you can honestly pick between either of the last two matches, that being the World Championship or the Lights Out Steel Cage match. Both were really fun. Both were really awesome for kind of different reasons. As for the weakest match of the night, honestly, it's hard to say. Honestly, it's kind of hard to say. Hey, possibly the opener, but that's only really by comparison. But otherwise, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on those post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you never miss an upload. And let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on Forbidden Door and my review. Did you like Forbidden Door? Did you like my review of Forbidden Door? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace. Oh, I actually forgot to mention. Don't click off just yet. I forgot to mention. Wardlow's back. So it was actually after the Swerve Okada match, I believe. So Wardlow showed up on behalf of the Don Callis family, attacked and did attack Swerve and I believe Prince Nana as well. Or actually, he just attacked Nana and then attacked some security guards around Swerve. So Wardlow is now within the Don Callis family. Takeshita shows up as everyone in the Don Callis family is celebrating, and it just now occurs to me the Don Callis family is supposed to be similar to the Heenan family back in the day, but nevertheless. Takeshita shows up, kind of stares down Wardlow, and now as I'm seeing, which actually spurred me to make this anecdote because I almost forgot about it. Some tension between Takeshita and Okada. Uh, uh, they had kind of been teasing Takeshita potentially leaving the Don Callis family for a while now, especially since Kyle Fletcher, I guess, is now the crown jewel in the crown of the Don Callis family, or I guess specifically Don Callis himself. Oh, excuse me. So I wonder how things will continue to unfold from here. But Wardlow is back, so I guess he's not associated with the Undisputed Kingdom or Paragon or anything like that anymore, or which makes sense because he had been out for a while. But yeah, so interesting development there. So we'll see where it leads. But now that is the review. Thank you all so much for watching. See you guys later. Peace. And here's hoping I didn't forget anything else.